Hey, hello everybody. So I'm just going to do this, right? Because I just noticed how messy the end of my desk is. But let's pretend no one can see that. Welcome to live lunch. I've just said it feels like ages since I've done this. And then Amanda's like, "Yeah, it is ages." I was like that. I'm sorry, but I'm back. I'm back. So yeah, it's the Green Umbrella Live Lunch. Just three of us this week. No guests, and Jane's having a week off. She is. I've suddenly got a really bad echo, and now I can't finish a sentence. Yeah, Jane is. She's actually moving house. So remember how stressful that was. So we've let her have a week off, and so that we don't add to that stress like we normally would do. So Jane, if you're watching, I really hope everything's going really, really well on that front.
And she's frozen.
And week, which for me is not a lot.
Oh, there's some voice.
Am I frozen? Am I back? Am I frozen? Nope. Oh. I don't know what's going on with the Wi-Fi. I'm just, hopefully you can hear me. I'll just keep talking to myself. We're good? Yeah, wonderful. So yeah, we're just going to talk about what's been going on, which I was just saying, like for me, I haven't done a lot for the last week at all. It's like I've had my feet up. It's been great. So what have you guys been up to?
We're not as blissed out as you, because you were on a sort of retreat last week. Is that's why you weren't here on live lunch, because you were investing in you.
I was, and I'm not gonna lie, bloody loved it. Loved it. It was. I've never been on a retreat before. I didn't know what to expect. I was a little bit fearful because, as we know, I'm not the kind of person that sits and meditates every day, and like I'm just I was nervous. But it was fantastic. We started every day, nice bit of exercise, healthy breakfast, a couple of sessions around sort of personal development and mindfulness and health and fitness and wealth, and a little bit of business in there as well. And it was just so cool. So cool to like wake up at the right time, do some exercise, eat regularly, go to bed at a sensible time, not have a glass of wine every night. Just like normal things that normal people do that I seem to have neglected. So it was good, but there was a bit of a shock reminder of just how little I take care of myself outside of Green Umbrella, which I know. I think a couple of people I know may have made comments about something like this in the past. I don't know.
Health is wealth, Christina. You can't pour from an empty cup.
I know. But it's like, honestly, I feel really like I don't know what the word is, like energized and infused and just like really connected with just like things like visions and missions and stuff like that. So I've come back this week raring to go and maybe a little bit overexcitable, just for change.
Not as usual. More motivated than you usually are. Is that possible?
I know. But come on then, what's been happening in my absence? What have we been working on? What's been happening social media news-wise? I've got a couple of things I want to talk about, but let's hear from you guys first of all.
Well, I don't know, but I know for me, I've been writing central in the last couple of weeks, so almost to the point where if there's changes going on in social media, I might have missed them because I've written so many articles and blogs over the last couple of weeks, which is nice. I felt like it went in little peaks and troughs, but I know we're potentially on the lookout for more copywriters because we've had such an interest in it at the moment. But so I really love getting my kind of creative head back on and doing some writing, different blogs for people. Sort of white papers, well, not really white papers, but I don't want to give away too much of what we're working on for some of our clients. So, but a bit more in depth. So that's been really good to look at the structure of that and work with Mark, because Mark's doing the design on it.
Yeah, so it's there's so many of these things out there, like things like white papers. You kind of go, oh, white paper, and you think it's going to text heavy. is anyone really going to read it all? But what we've come up with is something that's like really, really, I say we, like I've got ownership of it. What Mark's come up with is something really, really interactive, which I think for this particular client is going to make this resource really valuable. And although, yes, it's another white paper, it's something that's really going to make them stand out as being innovative, which is, something we like to try and be, and something that's sort of part of their values as well. So yeah, it's quite an exciting project, but I realise I'm being a bit impatient on that one, because I'm like, I want to see it. I keep dropping notes to Amanda like, how are we getting on with that? Because, like 3 hours has passed since I last asked. But it's good to work on sort of things that are a bit different, a bit more creative. I think you're going to have fun with this one, Mark, aren't you?
Yeah, I've been doing a bit more this morning, just testing a few bits and bobs out. So yeah, sort of thinking about how certain things can work and how we can present things a little bit differently. So yeah, all good. But that's been
Awesome.
one of my things this week as well, and some other just general web stuff for the same client as well, which also Amanda's also written as well. So it's been a
really joined up campaign for this. But it always feels a bit like we're kind of skirting around the issue. But I think as anyone that works with a marketing agency would hope, you don't want to spill too many beans when you work for a client. So, but it's a proper joined up strategy of working on, internal recruitment into their business, valuable content for their customers, the design side of things, the copywriting things. They're bringing in video, so we're writing scripts for it, and the scripts are kind of using the same language as the print copy. So yeah, it's really meaty stuff that's been really great to work with, and kind of pulling together the full creative spectrum. So yeah, good stuff.
Talking of being creative, so notice the fact that
I'm on brand, Paul.
I was gonna say, I'm just you're lucky I'm here, Paul. But we were talking about Halloween, and we were talking about Halloween and stuff just like before we went live, and all the stuff that's coming up. And I know you guys sort of touched on it last week, but there's loads of opportunity from a marketing perspective coming up over the next few weeks, the next few months, and that sort of stuff. One of the things that I've got sort of written down on my very short list that I wanted to mention is, obviously, depending on what business you're in, you really need to think about your marketing tactics between now and the end of the year. So if you've got Facebook advertising campaigns running, or Instagram ads running, for example, and you're putting like loads of budget into that, well, actually, we're about to come into a point in the year where everything costs so much more from an ads perspective. If you stick with that same budget, you're going to get far less results, because all of a sudden you've got this competition from an e-commerce perspective. So we run ads throughout the year, just sort of awareness ads, that kind of thing. We've got a particular piece of content that, if we do a really valuable live lunch, we will turn that into an ad for some extra exposure, especially when we've got guests on, that kind of thing. But between now and probably the second or third week of December, we won't spend any money on any ads, because, to be honest, it's like we're never going to compete with all those e-commerce budgets that are going out there. We really struggle to get the results we want from those ads. So we just put a pause on all of that stuff until essentially that kind of, like the last delivery, the last order dates for things to be delivered, especially on personalised gifts. That's kind of like when we would turn our ad spend back on again, so that we're not competing with that. So just something to think about. You don't necessarily have to switch everything off, but just be really, really aware. If I'm going to keep the same budget, I should expect less results. And if actually any leads you get in now they're going to take longer to convert, because people aren't going to want to convert till after Christmas and the new year, then actually just pause it, save the budget, and go double in the new year, and move that spend to there. So yeah, that's all I wanted to talk about on that front, really. But we are Sorry, I've just seen a comment there from Richard Osborne. Let me bring that up. So Richard said his wife's finding this with her small retail business, trying to get her campaigns up and working again for Christmas. So this is the other thing with smaller retailers. If you haven't been running ads throughout the year, like if you tend to just run your ads in Q4, you might be looking at your results from last year and previous years. Right, just remember we've had these iOS changes, so like the privacy settings, not privacy settings, the tracking that's available has changed. So whereas you might have retargeted people previously that have visited products before, been through to your website before, we haven't got that same level of tracking. So a lot of regular advertisers have kind of seen this dip in terms of the results they get just because of that change in the tracking. So, Richard, for you, I don't know what sort of products that your wife is offering, but look at doing ads that are targeting people that, perhaps do an ad that's got a video showing products, that kind of stuff, and then target people watch that video. I've pressed it again. Am I back? Yeah, target people that watch that video. Going forward, rather than targeting people that have clicked through on stuff before, or target people that have engaged with posts over the last 6 months, that kind of thing. So you might need to tweak your targeting a little bit on that one. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting quarter. I'm looking forward to like all the reports and stuff that come through from Facebook sort of January, February time, based on how much people spend in the run up to Christmas. And what kind of results people get, because I think it's going to be quite different to previous years. But yeah, Mark, you were sort of saying that people need to start thinking ahead.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the projects that we've just been speaking about, they're looking to launch really in sort of January. So obviously people are thinking now, what are they doing ready for the new year? Spoke to another client this morning that is a seasonal business in the leisure industry. Again, they're already getting ready. Their season doesn't really start probably till sort of March, April time, but now they're getting things in place ready for that, sort of thinking about what they need to do between then and now to promote the business. So yeah, it's, again, like we always say, it's about planning and strategy and thinking about what you're going to do in between now and Christmas, ready, not just ready for Christmas, but also thinking about further on now in terms of what's going to happen in the new year.
Absolutely. Amanda, have you got any thoughts on that one?
Yeah, I mean, yes, obviously, very topical with my Halloween. Although I have my sister and smallest nephew staying with me at the moment, and he's 8, and he's very disappointed with my Halloween decorations. So I have a few token things. He's like, "Oh, when are you putting the rest up?" That's it. So, I think if people, it's almost too late to think about paid ads. If you are quick with some creative, then there's potential to do something with Halloween, but it's half term this week. Most people have made their plans already, but it's less than a month, and we did talk about this last week, but I think it's worth just reiterating, especially if anyone didn't catch last week's. Less than a month now till Thanksgiving and Black Friday, which if you're a UK-based business, Thanksgiving's not a big deal, but Black Fridays come over here, Cyber Mondays come over here. So if you're piggybacking on that and you're doing something on the retail side of things, it's, I think, the 25th, 26th of November is the Thursday, Friday, and then Cyber Monday will be the following one. Less than 2 months till Christmas as well. So you really, if you're doing kind of awareness, you almost haven't got time now for a full funnel. As you said, you need to be picking up on people who've already engaged, people who were your customers last year. If you can turn around some email marketing quite quickly, these are our products for this year, or these are our offers for this year. That would probably be a good way, because you're straight into people's inboxes. But I'm sure me, like everybody else, has probably noticed the emails have started creeping through the discount on this weekend. So yeah, we're really entering that season at the moment.
Absolutely. Okay, so one of the things that I've been seeing cropping up quite a lot that I wanted to chat to you guys about, and I didn't mention this earlier, when we were sort of talking just before. So have you noticed the big increase in challenges on social media? Like during my, like join my 5-day challenge or my 30-day challenge or my 3-day challenge, and people using that as essentially like lead generation.
Yeah, I suppose now you mention it a little bit, I hadn't really clocked it enough to go, oh god, I'm inundated. But one thing I suppose I've picked up is there's a lot of walking challenges, and they're probably tailored to me and suggested to me because, you know, we work with Nordic Walking. That's not a secret. Jill from Nordic Walking UK and Walks has been on here before. I get out and walk a lot. I'm quite outdoorsy, so they're probably quite targeted. But there's loads of those and a lot of charity challenges. So, you know, walk 60 miles with your dog this month. Yeah, there's all sorts kind of going on. So we had walk with the dog. Yeah, right. So yes, I had noticed, but not enough to make me. It's a kind of, now you mention it.
Yeah, so there's been like challenge funnels. They've been around, but I'd say in the last sort of 18, we're seeing more and more of them, and I think they really are now becoming mainstream. The idea is, you know, let's say that, and this is one of the ways in which we can repurpose things in a really clever way. Okay, so let's say, for example, one of the things that we can do for a client is sort out their LinkedIn profile. Okay, they can outsource that to us. We just do it as a one-off project. Well, in order to get that work, we might run something like a 3-day challenge. So people sign up to be part of the challenge, and each day there's maybe a 10-minute, well, I'd say could be 10 minutes, could be 30 minutes. And I'll do 30 minutes talking about your professional headline and why that's so important and how you could structure it and blah, blah, blah. Okay, and then you have a task to do on that day, which would be to do update your professional headline. And then day 2, it would be another thing, and again a little bit of education with a task on the end of it. Day 3, etc. But the idea is essentially, if there's something you're selling, if there's something you're offering, if you can take it and like really, really kind of bring it back and bring it back and bring it back, so it's like a real top level where you can deliver it in like 3 little chunks or 5 little chunks, just to give people that taster. And essentially that's a really good way of getting people into your funnel. So people will sign up to be part of the challenge. Quite often it involves something like you join a Facebook group and the live streams are in there each day with the educational slot. There'll be a post everyone comments on to say they've done their homework and maybe sharing the output of that within that conversation. You're following it up with an email every day saying, make sure you're ready for the live stream at 7 p.m. or, if you missed it, here's where you can see the recap. So you get people really engaged with you. And what happens is, as you get towards the end of the challenge, so let's say it's a 5-day challenge, on day 4, the biggest bit of information is going to be delivered on day 5, but on day 4, essentially, you make an offer to the people that have engaged in the challenge. So on day 4, it might be like, if you've been struggling with this, if you feel like you need a little bit of help, we normally help people with their LinkedIn profiles at a cost of 150 quid. But because you're part of the challenge, we're going to do it at 95 quid for you instead. So it's a really good way of getting people into your funnel. And even at that point, so we brought it really top level. We're offering something that is an offer for taking part. But even that then leads into something else and leads into something else until you kind of, selling if like for us, it would be full outsource management of your social media profiles, for example. Okay. But I'm seeing this type of funnel again and again and again. And I really think that's actually, for a lot of businesses, it can work really well. And especially for those businesses that are offering a lot of value. Because we're doing that educational bit, drip feeding it, but there's always that room to be able to go sort of, deep dive on these topics. So yeah, so have you guys not seen much of that?
No, I don't. I don't think I have. But they're not. Like I said, certainly this week I haven't looked at a lot. This week I've been zoned.
Yeah. I suppose I have, but I hadn't really put it to. It was just sometimes you become blind to what feels like noise. So if it's not relevant, but now you're mentioning it, I'm thinking and I've done this before in a previous, like a kind of advent calendar type thing in December. So like a tip behind every door, or tip every day kind of thing. Movember starts next week. So you often get, sort of tips throughout the. Are you about to say you're going to grow a moustache? You look like you're.
No, I'm not.
I've got this on. I could just not.
We were talking about testosterone and hormone replacement things yesterday in the office. So I guess, I'm open for everything, but that wasn't on my to-do list.
I could draw one on.
I'm planning on making a few changes after this retreat. Growing a moustache was not one of them.
Okay. But anyway, on a serious note, Movember it's not just about growing a moustache. It's about men's mental health. It's about prostate cancer and raising awareness of some of the topics that maybe aren't discussed more readily amongst our male friends and colleagues. So, but you will often, that's potentially a chance for people. And I have seen things before where people have kind of done like, again, a tip a day or this is what you need to be doing throughout Movember to start the conversation going. So yes, I have noticed there's been a few challenges, but not enough that have made me go, oh, wow, they seem to be a real trend at the moment, other than on the walking front, sort of fitness and walking, detoxing, that kind of thing. So in that sector, in that industry, very much so.
So I'm going to send you some links to a few things, Amanda, so you can take a look. But it's really, really clever marketing, and it's quite an American thing. And like I said, it's I've been aware of them for probably about 18 months, but I'm just seeing them more and more and more, especially through sort of social ads. So Facebook ads, Instagram ads, that kind of thing.
Well,
really
I guess it's like, if you're engaging with them, like at any social platform, because you're engaging with them and kind of going, oh, what's this? I'm going to have a look at it. You're going to be presented with more. Whereas if Mark and I are scrolling on by, it's not going to suggest them to us necessarily.
Yeah, absolutely. But we were, again, we're sort of putting together a list of things we can talk about today. We were like, what about trends for 2022? And I was like, I haven't written my blog yet. I don't want to get into that just yet. I have got a few things that I think are going to be big next year, and I think challenges is going to be one of them. I think we're going to see more and more of those types of things appearing. So yeah, interesting. Okie dokie. So what else? That's two things off my list. Should I give you the other two now, or do one of you want to talk for a bit?
Well, I can tell you a bit about Data Davies, or you can segue that in between the last two things on your list. It's entirely up to you.
You segue into Data Davies. I love the fact, although I'm slightly worried, that you talk about Data Davies in the third person.
Oh.
Superhero alter ego, isn't it?
Data Davies to the rescue. Damn, we need a theme too.
I would have a headband or a tiara, obviously a tiara. Like that.
Yeah.
Well, again, I don't know if
little graphs on them.
We can make some.
I bet we can get that. Yeah.
Did you know that 1 in 3 people do this, and their head just explodes with all the information?
Amazing. Cool. Go on, Data Davies. Give us your best.
Last week, I don't know if you caught last week, Christina, whilst you were on your retreat, but we were talking about baby names, which wasn't very marketing-y, but we are all a little bit out of fashion now. Our names aren't even in the top 100. So, but I have more marketing-y stats for us for this week's Data Davies, which is what happens on the internet in 1 minute. So on an internet minute, what exactly happens? And this was a report, and it's kind of it's not by, I think, a company called Domo, but it's under the badge of Data Never Sleeps. And I can assure you, Data Davies does sleep, probably too much, but there you go. But I couldn't ignore it. So
third person again.
Yeah. Right. So let me tell you what happens every single minute on the internet. So YouTube users watch 694,444 hours of video, which you might think, how is that possible in a minute? But obviously it's cumulatively around the global users. So yeah, That's a lot of video on YouTube. TikTok users watch 167 million clips on there. So TikTok is if you put TikTok, two separate words, and TikTok one word together, it was the third most searched term on Google last year. So, I know you don't want to give away too much on the old 2022 predictions, but my sense is that it's going to continue to grow and keep increasing in popularity. So Google conducts 5.7 million searches in 1 minute. Instagram users share 65,000 images, so doesn't seem as much compared to some of the other numbers. Facebook users share 240,000 images. Clubhouse creates 208 rooms. So I don't know whether if I was a betting person, I would say that figure's probably peaked already. But yeah, I just found that really interesting, all the kind of what's happening. And at the moment, so the last stats, and this is from Hootsuite, there are the growth of social media over the last couple of years. I mean, granted, it's been impacted by the fact that we were all kind of pushed inside for lockdown, but it's jumped by over 13%. So the use of social media globally, bringing the global total of people using social media to 4.2 billion. So not million, billion, and that is a lot of people.
It's a lot of scrollers.
That's a lot of thumb action as as people are scrolling through stuff. That's not rude.
I know, but it's still funny.
There you are. If people want to read more and find out those stats, and it's presented in a lovely infographic, which again, I still argue there is a strong place for infographics in the marketing world. You have to read the rest of this month's Data Davies and the Social Snippet.
Awesome. The TikTok thing.
Yes.
Did you see that they're basically getting rid of IGTV?
Ooh.
And then Instagram's become a real messy place. So we've got posts in your grid, we've got stories, we've got reels, we've got IGTV. Okay, and IGTV had its own app as well. So they're getting rid of the IGTV app and they're just basically they really want to focus on reels. Reels is the equivalent of TikTok. Okay. Within the same, I'd say 10 days, 2 week period, they've also said that they're going to roll out reels on Facebook.
Okay.
So if we think of TikTok, and do you remember way back? It was probably on episode 3 of Live Lunch back in early lockdown, and I said TikTok is whatever happens with that platform. It's a form of content. We need to think of it as a format. Well, this is what we're seeing. This is what we're seeing, and I'm starting to see more TikTok reel style video content on LinkedIn now as well, which is really interesting. Really interesting. See how much it gets adopted, what people's opinions are of that as we move forward, if that continues to grow. But yeah, it's again that format of content I'm starting to see posted on LinkedIn. And then the other thing is the Clubhouse rooms. If we swapped the word Clubhouse for audio rooms and we totaled all the options that exist now. Okay, so Clubhouse, Green Room, Facebook have launched their audio rooms, and I saw something this week. I think it was this week. Amazon are now working on their version of audio rooms as well. There's so many options. What's going to happen with audio rooms? I don't think there will be a leading platform. I think it will be a case of the C-suite use audio rooms on LinkedIn. The coaches and consultants use audio rooms on Clubhouse. The kind of music creators use audio rooms via Spotify. And I think we'll end up with these kind of everyone goes to their little place for their audio community.
Yeah.
So, I think Facebook will be audio rooms for big influencers and their followers. And I think that's what will happen there. The Facebook audio rooms will be very, very community led. But yeah, it's interesting. Like I said, I think if you changed Clubhouse to Clubhouse to audio rooms, that number would be much higher.
Okay, interesting.
That's
I don't
my
have that figure. I'm sorry.
Well,
Data Davis does not have that figure. I'm sorry.
She puts all this time into finding her Halloween boppers, but is that what they're called?
Yeah, boppers. Yeah,
boppers. Yeah. Like, is there a better use of your time, Amanda? I think that was it. Go count them.
Just going back to the old Data Davis thing. Was it the guys at the NEC when we were there the other week? Was it Tempero? Were they the superhero? Yeah. See, next exhibition, Data Davis has got to be a costume now.
I don't know about that. This is as good as it gets.
We won't know Amanda. There will just be a little mask, and we just won't be able to tell.
Just for context, what Mark is referring to is young, fit lads running around in lycra.
I don't fit that criteria at all.
No, I was talking more just general superhero, but yeah, fair play to them for doing it, because I don't think I'd want to do that around the NEC either.
No. Cool. Okay. So Instagram, have you seen the news? Like, I think literally it broke yesterday. Instagram stories, we've got a new sticker being rolled out to everybody, irrelevant of how many followers you've got. You're now going to be able to you'll have a link sticker in your stories.
Oh, for everybody.
Everybody. I'm so excited.
I assumed it was and that's replaced the swipe up.
Yes. Yeah. So, well, I haven't seen anything to say swipe up's been removed. But there is now a link sticker.
I was looking at stories last night, and it had I forget who it was. It was a kind of influencer type. And they said, "Oh no, it's not swipe up. There's a link here." So
that's it.
Yeah,
it's an actual sticker. So if you're running events, if you're like launching something, if it's like actually now you can share the link to that landing page. And obviously stories being ephemeral, it's like you can just keep sharing. Just don't use the same content every time. But it's, all of a sudden, like in my opinion, Instagram's just jumped up another level in terms of how useful it is to us as businesses. So, previously it was like you've got to get your X number of follows to be able to add a link in stories. The only live link you had was the one in your bio. Well, actually now there's more opportunity to be able to direct people where you want them to be. So that was it. That was my little bit of excitement last night reading that. And then the other thing, I don't know if I've talked about it on in a couple of places like webinars and panels and things that I've done over the last few weeks. But LinkedIn have rolled out, basically it's like a competitors tab. So what you can do now is previously LinkedIn would have identified other pages that it saw as similar, and it would kind of rank you. Okay, but what it's now done is it's given us a competitor tab on your LinkedIn company page. You can choose which competitors you want to add. Okay, and obviously you're adding their company page, and it's then ranking you. Okay, so you can rank based on, I'm getting that echo again, hopefully I don't cut out again. You can sort of see how you're ranking in terms of like how many posts have you put out and how many engagements have you had. And there's also ranking in terms of like growth of your page as well, in terms of like the followers on the page. So it's really, really interesting. Yes, it's only a few stats, but you're kind of then able to see actually based on that growth, well, I know they're getting that growth because they're running ads. I know this competitor isn't. So actually all of their growth is organic. And are we ahead of them? Are they ahead of us? And if so, why, what's working, what's not working. So as much as I don't want everyone to suddenly go and spend a ton of time looking at their competitors, it is really interesting. I'd say, like, look, whether it's, I'd say probably once a quarter is enough. If you want to do once a month, that's fine, but probably just once a quarter to have a look in and say, okay, well, we're getting this many interactions based on the fact we post X amount of times a week on our LinkedIn company page. Well, there's one of our competitors that right now, they post like 3 times the number we do, and they get the same number of interactions that we do. So I'm like, there's no reason for us to increase our content on LinkedIn because we're getting that good level of engagement already. Whereas if I was them, I'd be looking at that going, wow, either we really need to change what we're putting out there to get the engagement we're looking for, or we just need to cut back and stop putting as much effort in because we're not getting the results. So it's really useful information. So if you're an admin on your LinkedIn company page, just under where, so when you're on there, you're in your admin mode, there's a tab for your analytics, and it's just under there. So click through, add some of your competitors. It's really interesting information. And it's a good time to look at it as you get towards the end of the year, and you're starting to think about what do I need to do next year. We could be looking at completely changing our LinkedIn strategy, but actually based on the information I can see in there's a couple of tweaks for us to make, but what we're doing is working really well.
That's really good insight. As you say, it's the sort of thing you could probably dwell on and look at it like daily almost, and you wouldn't need to. But yeah, I'll be using that for clients whose pages I manage. Yeah,
absolutely. Like I say, I think having that insight's really, really valuable, valuable. And especially for us, some of our clients have got like competitors that they're really like, they're watching their every move and they really want to be ahead of that particular business. I think we've all got that one competitor that we'd like to, know that we were better than for various reasons, whether it's just like values or, you can see they're really successful because of A, B, and C, and you want that too. We're all human at the end of the day. Nothing wrong with a bit of healthy competition.
Exactly.
Awesome. Right, that's everything on my list. I'm just gonna that's it. It's gone now.
Done. Tick, 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 tick. It's a good feeling.
Tick, tick, tick. Absolutely. Anything else from you guys? Anything you've seen social media news-wise, or you've been working on this week you want to mention that might be useful? Doesn't have to be useful.
Just not useful.
It's just been a blur this week.
It has. It's been a bit of a crazy week. I think every week feels a bit of a blur, but this one in particular has been crackers. Clocks changed this weekend, folks. Don't forget that. From a marketing point of view as well, if you are scheduling posts, if you're turning up at the office on Monday or whatever, just remember to fall back an hour.
I'm so glad you said that.
So, if you are scheduling posts, it's worth remembering, isn't it?
Yeah, most of the schedulers should just sort it out for you, but just always check. Check. Cool. Okay, right. I'm going to wrap it up there then. I think we've exhausted the conversation. We really miss Jane. Oh, I remembered lumpy mail we were going to talk about, but we can do that next time. I've got an envelope with a pen in it, guys. I thought, we can talk about that. That's how low the bar is at Green Umbrella Marketing.
We're ending it on like a real cliffhanger then. Tune in next week. For lumpy mail.
Amazing. Cool. So we will be back next Thursday, 12 noon. I'm saying that. I won't be.
Are you missing it again?
Well, I'm going to be in Bury St Edmunds, talking to a room full of recruiters on something recruitment marketing related. Can't remember what the title is off the top of my head now. So I'll be doing that, and unfortunately I don't finish there till 12:30. So if I can find a quiet corner, I will be diving in late. But otherwise, you guys will have to rock and roll without me. I'm a very
Unbelievable.
busy lady, don't you know?
You are busy and important.
Do you know what I'm doing? Do you know what I'm doing after this? Do you know what I'm doing after this, though? I'm going to have a quick lunch because the lovely ladies in the office have just brought lunch in for me. I feel proper spoiled. Like, they've made me sandwiches and everything. Look at this. Look at this.
And we've got cheesecake.
Thank you. Look, can you see? This is how well looked after I am. So, yeah, and then I'm getting on the train to London because I'm going to the Pure Beauty Awards this evening. So with a couple of our clients, they've invited me to go along with them as a thank you for the awesome work we do with them.
Because you're beautiful.
Well, hopefully I'll screw up well enough. But yeah, very excited. Got
Very
my spangly shoes and everything.
Well, how
Can't
lovely.
walk in them. That'll be the thing next week. I will be here because I'll be like all plastered there. I've fallen off my shoes. I'll be like that. Arms and legs. Cool. Anyway, that's it. I'll stop talking crap now. We will see you next Thursday, 12 noon. Have a fantastic week, everyone. And I hope there are some useful nuggets in today's live lunch for you. We'll see you all soon. Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.